Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of my viewers from across the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be looking at the properties, uses and the customization options of the indicator named Midprice. We will consider its formation, how we can arrive at its output value and what are some of the ways in which we can use this indicator for figuring out the trading opportunities in the market. So let us now head to the JForex 4 platform, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the Euro USD chart with the hourly time frame. I will add the mid price indicator here. You can add it from the overlap studies, else you can simply do a quick search and there you will find it. Let's consider all right, I have got this add indicator. Okay, and here we have to look for overlap studies. So here it comes, and it should be okay. So this is the midpoint price over a period. Mid price. This is simply the average of the midpoint over the given time frame. You can find it simply by doing the quick search as well. Okay, so I have plotted this indicator with the default calculation period of the 14. So whatever is the last 14 candle periods midpoint, it will be averaged out over that given period, and that's how we arrive at the mid price. So more or less it is the average price of the midpoint over this given time horizon, and we can use it to look for the trend if it is bearish or bullish or simply sideways. We can figure out the trend of the underlying instrument along with the price volatility using this indicator, using this formation of the mid price. So there is not much of a complication in its calculation formula. It is fairly simple. Midpoint I had explained to you in the last session, and we consider its average value over last 14 periods. So we arrive at the mid price of last 14 periods. So that's how this is done. And we even if we consider the editing options provided on the platform, there are not many editing options. Only thing is about time period. We can vary the time period. So the basic idea, the basic concept you might have understood. It is quite simple. Now coming to its possible uses, the classical interpretation is that if the mid price is on the rise, if the average price of the midpoint over the given time period is on the rise, that means the underlying instrument is in the bullish formation. And if the underlying instrument is showing its mid price in declining phase, that means the momentum has been bearish. And sometimes when the underlying instrument is trading within a narrow range, in such kind of circumstances, we see this mid price formation with we moving within the range. We don't really see it trending much, and that is reflective of its underlying instrument price volatility. If the underlying instrument is not going anywhere, so in that case we can't really expect the mid price to show or change much, as its high and low will be within a narrow range. And because of that, the average value, the average mid price over that given period is going to be flat. So there will be some changes slightly, sometimes on the higher side, sometimes on the lower side. But unless and until there is any big shift, we can be fairly confident of this range to hold. So we can utilize this indicator to look for the sideways market also. And if we see that the mid price is moving sideways even a given time period, then we can try to play the range. We can keep continuing to go long closer to the bottom levels, and we can try to look to go short closer to this high of the range. So we can utilize these mid price for multiple scenarios, the trending in case bullish or bearish or even in the sideways market. We can take these mid-price formation and make out the inference, and that is going to be quite helpful. Coming to its uses, we get this idea. Now if we consider the current price moves and the mid price formation here. For the day, the Euro USD has moved in a range of around 70 to 80 pips, and as a result of that, after this yesterday's steep price, we have seen the mid price stabilizing closer to this 1.03 level, and in today's session we had this declining, but given the prior formations high and the low and then rise in the low price over the given period, we had this mid price inching higher, but then as the range narrowed, we saw it stabilizing closer to this 1.32 level. Now, unless and until we see a fresh formation of the high or the low, we are likely to see these mid price hovering close to that. So we can go for short sale opportunities closer to the high of the range, which is around 1.36, and we can continue to look for short selling opportunities closer to this low of the range, which is around 1.02. So all we have to do is wait for this Euro USD to either make a fresh high or low, and then after that it should stabilize to some extent closer to those high or low levels, and then we can make a fresh assessment given the fact that mid price is moving sideways and we don't really have much of a trend in today's session after this steep rally in the prior session. Now let us see what are the editing options. There is this time period level which can be varied, so you get a idea of the mid price over different time periods. Now this is being done for last 14 candle periods, so we have the data of the mid price for last 14 hours as the candle period is hourly for this chart. Now if I vary it, let's say I increase it to 20, then let's make it 24, so we will be having the mid price over last one day. So this is the mid price for last 24 hours. So this is a lot more stable compared to the mid price of 14 candle periods, and as we increase the calculation period, we will have a lot more stability in the plotting of this mid price. If we increase it further to say 2 days worth of data, that is 48, we will see it remaining flat for considerable amount of time before showing rise or decline, and that is because the Euro USD or most of the other financial instruments tend to remain sideways for most of the time, and then some swift move happen. So because of that, we see this significant change in the mid price. But after that, once the price system stabilizes, again we see these mid price moving on the sideways manner. So because of that, we have this formation in place where we can go for a range, and if we define the range, we are in a position to then exploit that range. So we can take the mid price for looking at such opportunities. Also, once the mid price stabilizes, we can then start looking for some opportunities closer to the range high and the low. Coming to its output, we are using this simple color combination. If you want to make it more colorful, you can go for different color combinations. You can opt for different color to denote the uptrend and another color to denote the downtrend. You can also make it more stylish, which can be increased. The transparency option is also there, so you can play around and see how it looks. So it is the same indicator, but it is looking very different. We have this color combination in place, so it becomes easier to understand if the trend is inclined on the higher side or on the lower side. So we can utilize this mid price. Even a cursory glance will give you a good idea of the price momentum. Levels, there is not much to be done in terms of leveling. Coming to the advanced options, if we want the mid price value to be recalculated on the given time period only once, then you have to opt for this. So its value will remain constant for the current time frame for the current candle period once the new candle formation takes place. So unless and until new candle forms in the next hour, we will have this value remaining constant. If you want the calculation period to be highlighted, you can opt for this. And here, as the 48 hours is the calculation period, it is being highlighted. It is not that visible, but it is still. You, if you try it out on your own platform, you will clearly get to know. The calculation can be customized further. We can opt for the instrument to be chosen from the chart, or you can simply use it of your choice, Euro USD or any other instrument. The candle period can be used from the chart. So whenever you change the candle period of the chart, the indicator's calculation period will be changed accordingly. And if you keep it fixed at a certain candle period, then it will remain fixed regardless of the chart's candle period. Now the mid price will be calculated using the 10 minutes 10-minute candle for last 48 candles, whereas we have the chart plotted with the hourly candle period, whereas this mid price calculation is dependent on the 10-minute candles. So this is going to vary. Now again I am going to restore it to use from the chart. Side can also be the ask side or the bid side, or you can simply use it from the chart. So both these options are there for you. Show indicator on all periods. The indicator will be shown on the all the candle periods whenever you change the candle period of the chart. But if you opt out of this, if you want the charting of the mid price to be done only on certain candle periods and not other, then you have to specify it, and only on those candle periods the plotting will be done. So you can customize using this option also. So that's it from my side for today's session of JForex Indicator Explained. I hope you have been able to understand the concept and some of the preliminary uses of this indicator. So I would suggest that you try out this indicator and see what kind of formation you can figure out, you can design and develop, and then utilize those formation to look for trading opportunities to make money in the financial markets. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out this newly released JForex 4 platform, the link has also been included in the bio. So that's it from my side for today's session. I will be back with a new indicator in the next session. Till then, have a fabulous time ahead. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.